York Creek cipher, yo, listen close. The valley speaks, Upper York Creek with its limestone leaks. Watershed stretching through come all terrain. Karst bones bleed where the cedars remain. Headwaters rise where the fault lines split. Balcone scarp carved by an ancient hit. Rainfall crashing, flood pulses roll. But the Edwards stone drinks like a bottomless bowl. Hang their wagons and dreams, looking for farms near the cypress seams. Germans and hunters, Sustings and more claimed land grants. Caught from the Spanish War, but the creek ran fickle, sometimes dry, other times raging with a thunderous cry. Cutting deep banks, washouts wide, shaping the valley with a restless tide. Upper valley soil, thin as a blade, grass once tall like the prairie laid. Buffalo roamed, and the Comanche came, drank York waters and knew his name. Flash floods born from the hill country sky. 1 hour calm, next hour you die. Settlers built cabins near the bend, so clear, but they never tamed floods that appeared each year. Cotton rows planted where the bottomland spread, but erosion ate fields till the roots lay dead. Juniper clear for the plowman's greed, yet the creek grew bare with a thirsty need. Grade control lost, the gullies grew. Head cuts marked where the water's carrying buffers stripped away. Now the banks collapse with each hard rain. Coyotes howl where the spring once burst. Shallow wells drained by settlers' thirst. York Creek whispering ghostly moan, take too much and you'll lose your home. Mid-valley bends near Hunter's Line. Karst cavern strip with a hidden sign. Spanish eyes searched for silver and ore, but they found only water beneath the floor. Saltpeter dug in the Civil War days. Gunpowder cooked in the limestone maze. Ashes and charcoal left their scars. But the creek still flowed beneath the stars. Then came dams, then came roads. Concrete choking the natural modes. Highway culverts split the vein, turning storm to torrent. Life to pain. The biotic pump once drew the rains, forest called clouds from the Gulf domain. But chainsaws echoed, junipers fell. Now the valley lies under drought's dry spell. Still, fossils gleamed in the Glen Rose stone. Ammonite spirals in a seabed thrown. Sharks once swam where the creek runs low. Ancient seas carved the karst below York. Creek's tale ain't just of loss, it's a crossroad etched with a sacred cross. Water to Guadalupe, whispers to Comal. Every drop counts and the watershed's a call. Picture a storm, 2 inches in an hour. Creek swells quick with a deadly power. Deadly power. Debris in the current, cottonwood torn. Houses abandoned, foundations worn, children. Once fished with cane and line. Caught, perch flash in the summer shine. But fertilizer runoff, septic leaks clouded the flow of the York Creek streaks. Old timers tell of the springs up high. Seeps on the ridges where the rocks stay dry. Now they're ghosts in the pasture grass, swallowed by drought as the decades past died, yet life returns where the pecan roots drink, where willows lean down by the water's brink. Beaver once chewed in the mid-valley glade, built back wetlands where cattails swayed. But ranchers cursed floods, tore beaver dams, pushed the creek deeper with heavy hand. Channel incision cut the soul in two, now the valley waits for a dream renewed. Upper York calls for a healing plan, native grasses sown by a wiser hand. Cedar shade left on the slopes so steep, holding back soil when the waters leap. Stone-shaped dams where the gullies tear, spring water holding it there. Riparian buffers planted thick and wide, so dragonflies dance where minnows hide. This is the cipher of York's long song of settlers, floods, and what went wrong, but also of hope where the rain still falls, where the watershed answers her children's calls. So listen close, Big John, take note. The valley still breathes with a haunted throat. It wraps in limestone, gravel, and clay, telling the story in a ghostly way. The Upper Valley whispers of springs long gone, the Mid-Valley rumbles with a flood rap song. Every bend, every draw, every limestone wall, York Creek lives, and it's calling us all. York Creek, history, deep secrets in the watershed. It's still from the cedar choppers, axe to the cowboys heard. From the Spanish across to the settlers' word. The water still flows though the banks erode, carving out truth on a timeless road. A 9,000 character verse, a watershed hymn rap of thee. Valley where paths rose dim. York Creek standing with a ghost strap, crowning Comal County, it holds its ground. Up and mid from spring to shoal, forever the gators and the floods swallow whole.